Hi, I'm Dr. Maria Lombardo, and I am the paleo cosmetic surgeon. Tonight we're doing a cooking demo, and one of the things that I'm going to show you is how to spiralize zucchini noodles, and we're going to pair that with a real quick tomato and meat sauce. So one of the first things that I want to show you that is really very exciting the first time you see it, although it has been around for a while and I know some of you already know about it, is the Spiralizer. And this is it. And I do want to say a little shout out to Cheryl. She bought a few for tonight, so if you are interested in getting one, she does have some available to purchase tonight if you want. So one of the first things that people miss when they go paleo is pasta. And you can't have pasta, it has the wheat in it. So we have to make our own noodles out of something else. And this little device makes it possible to make noodles out of a yellow squash. Nice. And it really does make noodles out of spaghetti squash, or out of squashes. And you can do cucumbers. See, even the babies are impressed. And you can do cucumbers, carrots, apples. We've made desserts out of spiralized things before. Zucchinis and yellow squash are kind of the easiest and most used, I think, just because of the shape of it is really conducive to this process. I will warn you that you should probably cut these, otherwise when you try to get this up on a fork, it doesn't really work a whole lot. So you really do have to kind of break them up a little bit. And any pasta sauce. So your grandmother's, favorite recipe for linguine with clam sauce, which we happen to be making tonight, you can actually do with spiralized vegetable noodles. The other thing about this little device is you end up with that. And you can throw that away, you can sort of nibble on it, or we're actually going to chop these up and throw them in our sauce. Particularly with zucchini, they just kind of melt and more vegetables in your sauce. So, not that you need to see it again, but now we're going to use the zucchini. It's a different color, but really simple. Blades are super sharp. Watch out when you're cleaning it. That's kind of the biggest thing about this, is actually keeping it clean and not cutting yourself in the process. And it's fun and easy. Nice, thank you. And there you go. So once again, you get kind of 6 feet of noodles. So like I said, Cheryl has some available if you are interested, and let her know. All right, so we're going to sample these a little bit later. And second on the list is a really quick and easy meat sauce. So if you don't feel like making grandmother's awesome meat sauce, this is a really quick, easy way to do one and be ready in just a few minutes. So same thing, little olive oil, little onion. All right, we're going to try not to let this burn. Okay, in our meat sauce, we're going to add our meat. And let that cook down too. Just ground beef. And this is, this portion of recipe that I'm doing really is kind of enough for 2 people or 1 very hungry person. So today it's good enough for half of you. One of the things that when you start paleo, if you didn't really do a lot of cooking before, or if you did do cooking but with a lot of processed type foods, introducing fresh herbs into the kitchen is a really, really great way to add new flavors to things. And they smell great too. And our beef is getting nice and brown here, so that's good. All right, so some Italian seasoning. Did I mention I was Italian? And I also like it spicy, so a little bit of red pepper flakes. And I like to add these in right as I'm about to add the liquid so that the spices can actually fry up a little bit in the oil and kind of brings out some of that flavor as well. Yep. Don't want to mix up my spatulas here. You know, if it's swimming in fat on the bottom from the beef, then I probably would. But I started off with some olive oil to begin with, and so I don't necessarily want to drain it off. And as we all know, you know, the sort of mantra in America for the past 30 years has been low fat, low fat. And paleo is not about low fat. So if it's healthy fat, like the olive oil that I put in, then I'm not really going to. But again, if it's really kind of like cooking out of the meat, then I probably would. Nobody likes really greasy sauces. All right, so we're just gonna dump in a can of diced tomatoes. This particular one has green chilies in it. There are Italian varieties with Italian seasonings. Whatever your preference is fine. You can even go with the plain if you want to spice it yourself. Now, I personally think that most canned tomatoes are pretty acidic, and I don't like that. It actually doesn't seem like a bright flavor to me. You know, adding acid to make things, to bring out flavor. I think it's actually a little bit too acidic. And so a little technique that I like to do, and again, it sort of depends on the variety of sauce that you're using or the tomatoes that you're using, is adding just a little pinch of baking soda, which is a base to balance the acid. It sort of fizzes up and foams up for a second, but it really cuts that acid taste, and it actually almost imparts a sweet flavor to it. So if you've never tried it, you're about to. Baking soda. So the orange box, and this is just a tiny little pinch. So for the amount that we have here, just the tiniest little tip of the spoon, and unfortunately you can't see it, but it really starts sort of to bubble, and you want to just make sure that you mix that all up. And that's it. You've got a tomato sauce that's ready to go, and that was certainly less than 10 minutes.